Happy holidays, everybody. Now, this is one of my, if not my favorite time of the year. But you know what's one of my favorite holiday traditions? Is sitting on the couch and rewatching some of my favorite holiday movies. Like, for example, Christmas Story, The Santa Claus, Home Alone, and there are just so many more. But perhaps, if not the most iconic holiday Christmas character of all time, is the Grinch. Now, the Grinch is the main character in the 1957 children's book How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Eventually, 9 years later, after that book, they made a full-length future short film, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, in 1966. So in this video, you are going to learn fun facts I bet you may have not have known about the 1966 holiday classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Boris Karloff. Now, this version of 1966, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, was directed by animator Chuck Jones, who was most well known for making cartoons such as Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes. Surprise, isn't it? And we all know Theodore Ted Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss, has worked with Chuck Jones at that point for many years. They worked together on private snap food cartoons, and eventually one day, Chuck Jones approached Ted Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss, about how would he feel about making an animated film version of his popular How the Grinch Stole Christmas book. And this was Ted Geisel's answer flat out. No, he did not want to make the Grinch to the big screen. And you're probably wondering, hold up, Logan, why would Ted Geisel, Dr. Seuss, the creator of the Grinch, not want to make a film about one of his, if not his most iconic book character? Well, you're about to find out why. I only mention that because we all know that the Grinch is such a beloved film character and pop culture figure. So it's kind of surprising that the creator didn't want to make him to the big screen. It's because Ted Geisel had already worked on a project that he called his biggest flop, called The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T, and he did not want to make that mistake again. What eventually made him change his mind was when he heard the lyrics to Welcome Christmas, and he thought that the movie would have an authentic Seussian feel if that song was in the film. Although he said he would be okay with only having just one song in the movie. But little did he know they had more songs planned, because possibly the song that everybody thinks of when they think of the Grinch is You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. That is sung by none other than Thurl Ravenscroft, who is the voice of Tony the Tiger back in the day in the Frosted Flakes commercials. Although he isn't the one that got credit for the song, and we'll get back to that in a bit. But first, we have to tell you why. Because you see, the Grinch, as we all know, is voiced by none other than Boris Karloff, and he is also the film's narrator. And Karloff is probably most well known for playing the Frankenstein monster in the Frankenstein movies in the 1930s. And he did the voice of the Grinch, and he was also the narrator of the movie. And people thought for many years that since he was both the voice of the Grinch and the narrator, they thought Boris Karloff sang You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. However, it took many years for people to put the pieces together to figure out that it was actually the voice of Tony the Tiger that sang You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, of course, Thurl Ravenscroft. Eventually, Boris Karloff felt so ashamed that Thurl wasn't giving the credit he deserved, because he perhaps sung one of the greatest Christmas songs of all time. And although Thurl Ravenscroft sang the song You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, Albert Haig actually wrote the music for the Grinch, and he had Ted Geisel come to his house and had him play just one chorus of Mr. Grinch. And he described, anyone that can slap the word on the name Grinch gets the job. And now here's something that's a fun fact in this movie that is similar to Ted Geisel, Dr. Seuss's life. We all know that the Grinch is 53 years old and lives on Mount Crumpet, which overlooks the noisy commercialist town of Whoville. And let's compare that to Dr. Seuss, who was actually 53 when he wrote How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And at the time, he lived on the top of Mount Solivar in sunny California, and below it is a big city below it. And I don't really know what that city is called. And also, since Ted Geisel was coming back to his senses after 9 long years of working on the Grinch, he suggests that while he was working on this, he found a little bit of a Grinch in himself. But Chuck Jones also got a little bit of a Grinch in himself because his wife described that he drew all of the Grinch's facial expressions, such as his eyebrows and smile. And you see, as you may know, in animated movies, we tend to hear some different noises, like when we're walking or when we're eating or like even what we're doing. There is somebody actually making sounds to make the sounds. So here are some props that they use to make the sound effects in the film. So when the Grinch's footsteps are heard in the snow, that sound was made from the sound of someone eating potato chips. And the sound of the bags plopping on the roof were made from the sound of someone taking bites of an apple. And the sound of the Grinch coming down the chimney was made from the sound of someone coloring a balloon with a marker. And as you may probably know, if you have read the book, I'm sure you probably have, you may notice that in the book, the Grinch is black and white and he has red eyes. Although, as you probably already know, we all know that that's not the Grinch's color. We all know the Grinch's color, green. And he typically has yellow eyes. So how did he turn from black and white to green that we all know and love today? Well, Chuck Jones decided that he wanted to make the Grinch the color green because of a series of cars that he liked, and one of his favorite cars was green, and he decided that he wanted to make the Grinch in this green, and eventually that's how he changed. So in this one, has green and yellow and red eyes, and also in How the Grinch Stole Christmas in 2000 with Jim Carrey, he also sticks to green, and in the Illumination 2018 version, it also is green. And those are fun facts that I know about How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 1966, starring Boris Karloff. If you want to hear more fun facts about other Christmas movies, such as The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 2000, and The Grinch movie from 2018, let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and tap the notifications to be a part of the notification squad. And I'm sorry about my voice. This took me many tries to make this video, and I'm out, man. Peace.